I'm enlisting everybody to Central TV. We here to give you the best. Come the listing, enjoy the show. Come the listing to Central TV. We the best in time. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up to Central TV. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up to Central TV. Veronica the boss for Central TV. She's here to give you the best.
Evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Bring you our live studio. This is our Friday special of Sandra TV, and I'm going to then bring on the host for Inside Liberia, in Miss Vivian Alitia Coke. And today we have a very interesting conversation in our Friday special. So I look forward you to have you on the show. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Respectful manner.
Can you?
Good evening.
How you
Good
doing?
evening.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Great tonight.
Absolutely.
It's a wonderful
It
Friday and
is a
a
pleasure to
great
have you on
weekend.
again for our Friday special. How you doing, Mr.
Yeah,
Davis?
it is. It
Oh,
is.
that's very fine. Yeah.
It is a
Uh,
Reverend Davis. Reverend Davis
Yep.
is here with us tonight, and we are
okay.
glad to have him in studio. We are still awaiting other guests, and I know they will join us as the conversation goes on. This is a special edition of Inside Liberia. And Inside Liberia is our live program on Samtra TV. Samtra TV, we are new, but we are the best. We are on YouTube and Facebook. Follow us. Let's have a wonderful time. My name is Vivian Cook. I am the host of Inside Liberia. Let me take this time to welcome Reverend Cephas Wazeke Davis. If you see his name, Kankoya Davis, it's just a traditional name. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah.
So this is Samja TV. It's new, but I know you will enjoy our platform. Most of the time we have favorite programs for this week. But tonight is special. On Wednesday on our show, we had a discussion about Prophet Key. He's Prophet Key for short, and everyone around the world knows him to be Prophet Key, although his name is Justin Yeager. That's from Nema County, but everyone calls him Prophet Key. And we started his discussion on Wednesday on the regular Inside Liberia show, and how the case of the Supreme Court was going, and how he has been abusive to women over the years. It's been a long time since he been abusing women, and he just doesn't care about what he says to people, uh, how he address, and he calls it his way of advocacy. I don't know how advocacy is meant to be like that, but that is what we know him for. Even when he was in Liberia doing a former President George Manning, we are this. This is how people really know Prophet Key to do advocacy. And now the advocacy has come to the other side. At this point, several women have been victim of his abuse. Uh, Finally today, he threw his net at the Supreme Court boss, the Chief Justice, and this is where we are. The case went out. It has been since Tuesday, first hearing, Thursday, another hearing, and an appeal from Prophet Key. But today, the verdict came out and he was found guilty. He has been sentenced to 6 months. That's 181 days in prison. We should be expecting him out somewhere around August 25th or something like that. However, there are views, there are varieties of views, and the discussion is taking new trends, taking a lot of different points. People are analyzing it in their own way. So we thought to bring a weekend special review on the case that we discussed Wednesday on our regular Inside Liberia show. Tonight we want to welcome all of our guests that will be coming in. If there are other guests, please host or our studio, please allow them. We want to also welcome Grace Williams Joshua. Grace is a female journalist and a woman advocate and been advocating for long. She's my colleague. And Reverend will also be expecting one of your colleagues who is also a Reverend and an advocate from Euro will be joining us soon. So I'm just trying to lay the platform and welcome you all for the first time on Sandra TV. Even our boss, the CEO of Sandra TV, Mrs. Veronica Grams, will also be joining us on this discussion. But this is how far we are currently with the case. Prophet Key is spending his first night at the Moreover Central Prison. What do you make of a Reverend Davis?
Come
Reverend
again?
Davis? Yeah, you can go ahead
Yeah.
yourself. You are welcome. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Introduce myself.
What do you make
Okay,
of it? Yeah.
I'm Reverend Josephus Z.K. Davis. I'm a United Methodist clergy. Currently live in the United States, in the state of Iowa, in the city of Makokota. I'm an ordained minister. Got a master's degree in divinity. Also got a graduate law degree. So I've been doing some legal writing. So that's why one of the things kind of interests me to have this conversation. So I'm glad to be here to share my opinion. Beside opinion, to also talk about the law. Even though I'm not a practicing lawyer or attorney, but I got a graduate degree in law. So to see what the law says. Talk about laws and morals at the same time being a theologian. So I'm glad to be here to be able to share.
Thank you, Rary. Thank you so much. You are welcome for the first time on Samtra TV, and I know you'll be one of our regular hosts. Then we have Grace Joshua. Grace Williams Joshua is a female journalist, and she's also here with us on this line to discuss the issue of morals when it comes to women issues. Grace, please, can you introduce yourself so that we can kick out the ball?
Okay, I'm happy to be here this evening. I'm a female journalist, and I know those people that will be listening as we analyze this topic that have stirred up public reaction from all sectors. Thank you.
Grace line is a little bit sticky. Grace, are you getting us?
I'm getting you. Are you getting me now?
I think now you're much better.
All right, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, much better. So you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
I said, my name is Grace Williams Joshua. I'm a female journalist and an advocate. I'm happy to be here this evening as this topic that has stirred up a lot of reaction from all sectors in Liberia. Yeah.
Thank you, Grace, and you are welcome. This is Samtra TV, and the program is the Inside Liberia Weekend Review Special. We are discussing the Supreme Court ruling today. We have previously discussed the issue of the court case against popularly known Prophet Key, and today the Supreme Court hand down a ruling. Currently, as we speak, he's at the Moreover Central Prison. We want to start with Reverend Davis. What do you make of the sentence? How do you see it in our Liberian way, in our Liberian setting, especially you who have a law background? How do you see this ruling, Reverend Davis?
The issue of Prophet Kid, it's a very kind of sticky issue, and the reason it is so sticky, people is trying to bring morality into the law, so often, people say, the law is not fair, but the law is just. In another sense, because justice has to be applied differently. Yeah. So the issue of Prophet Kid, I did a post, then afterward you call me, the issue of Prophet Key, first you got to go back to the preliminary hearing that was held. The Supreme Court Chief Justice basically he said the contempt he called Prophet Fee to contempt because he insulted his mother, and insulting people's mother is not a crime. You know, per the Liberian law, it's not a crime. You know, insulting people.
How is it not a crime, Reverend?
Wrong thing to do. Yeah, it's a very wrong thing to do. But if I get to the verdict, for me, the issue of the verdict that is troubling for me is the misapplied of justice. It's not an issue about supporting Prophet Key behavior or not. It's a misapplication of justice. If we will take their path as a nation, with a justice system that is already not too strong, that would be a very, very dangerous path that Liberia will take when Supreme Court can apply justice in the way this has happened today. So I will pause, as we go further, I will, kind of speak more to it.
But before you pause, there's something that I need to ask. When you say that insulting someone's mother is not a crime, is that a compliment? If it is not,
no, it's not a compliment. What I'm trying to say, when I mention it's not a crime under the law. Under the Liberian law, it's not a crime to insult people's mother. It's wrong. Nobody says morally right. It's morally wrong. I don't listen to Prophet Key. I think his behavior is demeaning. And for me, this is not about his behavior. This is about the law. You see, in a country, the United States and other countries, the reason they are great because the judicial system is strong, because the laws are applied in the right way. So if we sit there and say the law is, the law being applied in the wrong way, if you look at it from a legal perspective too, other legal scholars will tell you what the Supreme Court did. It was almost like rewriting the law. So if you would sentence a person, if you send a person to prison and criminalizing, then you're criminalizing a vodka ruinous. You're trying to criminalize it. If you criminalize it, then you are trying to take a different path of the law. So now you're trying to tell us that if people, growing up, like Burma said, I cost a man, so people cost people man, and you got to get in the court because then it becomes a criminal offense. And that's the dangerous path that I think our nation is taking that is wrong for Liberia.
Okay, okay, we'll hold you right there, and we listen to Grace Joshua Williams. Should be speaking from a woman perspective as a female journalist. Grace, are you there? Grace? Grace is there.
You getting me?
Yeah, Grace. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm very happy that the Reverend has laid the basic for us tonight. The first thing I want us to look at here is the Supreme Court have done two things in just a single day. Why I said two things in a single day? The first thing we should start looking at is from the start of this whole scenario coming down to Prophet Key being arrested and jailed. The Supreme Court has been seated in Liberia for a very long time. This is not the first time that Prophet Key has openly insulted dignitaries and people in position. This is not the first time that Prophet Key has engaged into verbal abuse of mothers. This is the first time that Prophet Key has openly insults women that have contributed to the peace of this country. Prophet Key started insulting way back, even the former Justice, who was a woman. Prophet Key on a daily basis.
I think you're on me though.
Check your mic. Okay, go ahead. It's mute. It's muted. Check your mic.
It's not. I don't know.
Okay.
You're on mute first.
It's better now. Yeah.
This is not the Prophet Key has insulted women that have contributed to the well-being of this country. The former Chief Justice was insulted by Prophet on many occasions. Judy Andy were open disgraced by Profeki. District 6 contestant Woki Dolo were openly disgraced by Profeki. There are other females that he would just collect their nude Facebook and destroy them. Now, my issue with the Supreme Court is this. We had 2 cardinal cases of recent in Liberia. One, a Sonome case, and the other one with a 14-year-old girl. And we all know that rape is a non-bailable offense. That's so partly we're getting involved, looking at the whole of the panicking about their children being raped. Supreme Court did not get involved. They kept quiet. The police have to be the one to give verdict. Something that I still have problem with. Supreme Court did not get involved. Now, Profeki were used. Profeki is a political commodity. Let's be honest here. What do I mean political? The same politician today that are persecuting him, they used Profeki in the past before to get at other politicians. The Supreme Court wasted our time today. I'm not in favor of the fact that Profeki has insulted or keep insulting. I'm even happy that he was persecuted, but that was a very simple thing. The Supreme Court was not even to sit on Profeki matter. The Supreme Court had a lot of work to do. Our financial resources being cornered in this country by the lawmakers, they are there. The Supreme Court should call them to order. They are separate branches, but the question them, these things are not in the way of the Liberian people. You can't sit the full bench, cannot sit for just one man that have consistently insulted dignitaries and contributed to making this nation great. The Supreme Court cannot do that. That's money they could have just used the same Liberian police, the criminal court, and send that man to jail. But like, you're not supposed to be roaming around every.
You know, get close to the microphone, like breaking up.
So I'm saying, from my perspective, I enjoy the fact that he was persecuted, but the Supreme Court is too big, way beyond Profeki. And I condemn the fact. I don't have time for Profeki talking a friend, man. The Chief Justice is a guy. I don't have problem. But the women that he insulted consistently, I'm happy that he was persecuted today. I'm happy that the law took its course.
Thank you, Grace.
But it's too refined to sit for just men that have destroyed the whole country. And because of him, all the young women on social media insulting here today because Profeki started it. That's my point. That's
Grace, thank you. Thank you. Grace says our focus is not on the fact that Profeki insulted the Chief Justice mom, but it's in general, women have been victims of insults. And we come back to the fact that the Reverend says insults are not crimes. When do we see it as a crime? If I'm insulted by a person and I feel hurt and I take the person to the law, is it that crime? Is it wrong to do that?
Yeah, you see, under the law, you got something you got a civil code and you got a criminal code. Yeah. You got a civil code and a criminal code. So the aspect of somebody insulting people, murder, and if you insult, they can sue them for damages, for hurt cost to them. That you go to the civil code. But the idea of the criminal laws, what I'm saying, that you cannot criminalize insult under the Liberian law. Under the Liberian law, cursing is not a criminal offense. It's a civil offense. So for a civil offense, what you do, because if somebody insult my mother, I feel hurt, or abuse me in public, that's a civil offense. So I can sue them for punitive damage, of damage to my character and the hurt I experienced when they insulted me publicly. So that belongs to the civil code. So in the civil code with evidence, the civil code will pass judgment and say, okay, this guy, because you insulted this person, you got to pay so and so fine. Then you pay that money. That's a civil code. But what the Supreme Court did today, they are trying to criminalize something that is civil. And that is wrong. You cannot take a civil offense and criminalize it. And even you calling somebody into contempt for court. When you call somebody in contempt for court, the literal interpretation of contempt of court happens in court or outside of court when you refuse a court order. The court can call you to contempt. Or if you insult the judge in the court while the case is going on, you can be held in contempt of court. And none of these happen in the case of Prophet Key. And the thing that is more troubling is that when Prophet Key was held in contempt, the Chief Justice said, because you cursed my mother, that's the reason you contempt. That's abuse of the law. And that's what some of us are saying. We're not saying, Prophet Key behavior is right. No, Prophet Key behavior is wrong. It's demeaning. So now I wonder why he even get a daughter or why he fall from the sky the way he insults women. It's very wrong. But my own point here is the law. And you go back to what Grace was saying. Grace said, he abused the former Chief Justice, the retired Chief Justice was a woman. The reason she didn't put in contempt of court because it's not a criminal offense. The Chief Justice at the time, she could sue Prophet Key to the civil court, for insulting her. If Prophet Key insulted her within the court, yeah, you can hold him for contempt, you can send him to jail, yeah. And that's what we're trying to say. That one of the reasons he did not. So imagine, Prophet Key calls George Weah mother, he calls Boakai wife. Why you didn't think those people were the presidents? They can send officer to the house and say arrest that man, put in jail and lock and throw the key away. But then you will not be practicing democracy. Then will be a dangerous path for our nation. So we that are speaking, today we're not speaking for Prophet Key. No, we are speaking for the rule of law.
Yeah, I understand your point, Reverend. That is a salient point. But another question I would like you to address is, if Prophet Key is being sued or is being called by the Supreme Court based on a complaint by the Chief Justice, are you saying that the Chief Justice has no right to the rule of law because he's the Chief Justice, or he has no reason to bring Prophet Key forward to court for insulting his mother? If it's wrong, it's wrong to
he's abusing his power. Let's say the Chief Justice was right to bring. Let's just assume say the Chief Justice is right to bring Prophet Key to court. Who are presiding in the court? It was the Chief Justice.
I want to comment on.
You cannot be the plaintiff and the defendant at the same time. Let's just say he's right.
That's what I want to say. The very, like I said, you are the lady busy. The Supreme Court is no different from the Constitution. The Supreme Court, all of the bench are subjected to the of like. Now, the issue here is the Supreme Court wanted to the Prophet Key when Judy Andy took the case to the court.
Can you get close to your microphone? I'm not getting what you're saying.
Are you getting me? When Judy
now
her case for the court, the Supreme Court is no different from the Constitution of Liberia. Those people sitting on the bench can also be judged by the Constitution, right? Yeah. So when if the Supreme Court really wanted to prosecute Prophet Key in a legal way, when Judy Andy took her case to the civil court there, they're supposed to step in and prosecute Prophet Key for all of what he was doing. But at that time, politics were at its peaks. Now that the fish has smelled to their skin and reached the head, you want to exercise your power? The Supreme Court is too big for that. You don't do that.
And Grace is on point. That's abuse of power, and that's what we're talking about.
Grace, what do you think when it comes to not only Judy Andy, but several other women, former First Lady, former Vice President, National Elections Commission, when they deny him participatory right in a senatorial election, by election, and then when he wasn't qualified, and thousands of women who've been victimized. Don't you think, or don't you appreciate the fact that someone has to erect a checkpoint so that Liberians, or so that those people who just get on the social media page and insult women can be brought to justice? Don't you think that it's necessary to erect a checkpoint at a certain time in one's life?
That's what
Oh, right.
you ask about
Yeah, any of you can answer.
asking I like the father putting in jail. But the process was wrong. The whole process was wrong. Alanta, the process was wrong. We have cases here that the Supreme Court supposed to preside over. That label that was sort of mass here. That man was smiling all around here. Nobody touched him. When that 14-year-old girl was raped, the people say that the first time they should bring DNA test before they confirm that somebody actually raped when the suspect was pointing to the guy. Supreme Court ain't do anything, a criminal case, they ain't get involved. Therefore, you and a man will argue. The man insulting, the man be insulting all the other women in the country. You won't say anything. Somebody even walked to the civil law court and reported this guy. You say that freedom of expression. Now it comes to your time, then you want to prosecute the legal means and find manual way to prosecute that person. Then you have power. That's my own thing I gotta say about it.
Yeah, and I think Grace is right. She's some point. Nobody's supporting the behavior of Prophet Key. Not because Prophet Key insulted a bunch of women. We all disagree with it. That he been sent to jail the wrong way, and you get a code that is abusing her authority. And the reason it's a dangerous path because this is the highest court in our land. This is our highest court. This is a higher court. These people's decision, it can change the entire legal standing, the entire legal interpretation of a crime. What the Supreme Court did today, they are telling the Liberian people that vernacular abuse and curse can be a criminal offense. That's what the Supreme Court is saying today. And that's a dangerous path.
No, but content. The Supreme Court said content. It was a rate of content, right? And the procedure said they held him content.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, if you hold
abuse.
To hold somebody in contempt in the legal war, you can hold somebody in civil contempt and criminal contempt. Yeah. And the Supreme Court did not hold in civil contempt. They held in criminal contempt, which I say is wrong, because to hold somebody in contempt, criminal contempt, the action, it got to be a direct action in the court or outside of the court by refusing the order of a judge. That's when you hold somebody in contempt. But Prophet Key did not do either. Prophet Key abused, was just outside and he cussed. Prophet Key was not in court. Prophet Key was not summoned to the court and he refused the order of the court. Okay, let's say when you say you are in contempt, that was an order of a court. If Prophet Key had not shown up and you arrest and you put in jail, it makes sense because then he violated the order of the court. But because he went to court, he didn't violate any order. And by causing, as a Chief Justice, insulting your mother is not a criminal offense under the Liberian law. And the sad thing that is happening today in Liberia, legal constitutional scholar like Tewan Gonglo, he wrote a piece and defending the code rule, and I responded to one post. I said, where is the threat that Prophet Key posed to the Supreme Court by insulting the Chief Justice mother? There is no threat. Yeah, so it's like people are, legal people are making a lot of posts on Facebook, which is a complete danger to our country. Imagine what the Supreme Court did today if Judge Ria Obwaka did it. It was impeachment because the law doesn't work the way we think. Sometimes we want to take morality and feelings and attach it to the law. The law doesn't work like that. And what the Chief Justice did, he brought his own feelings into reading of the law.
So, what was your expectation, Reverend Davis and then Grace? What was your expectation from the court ruling today? What did you expect to have happened other than where we are now?
I didn't expect it to reach this far. I didn't even expect the Supreme Court to call somebody in contempt for insulting the Chief Justice Mother. When he calls Prophet King to contempt, the preliminary hearing, I thought you were going to say, you insult the code and call the code engaged in the criminal behavior. You have to present those criminal behavior, to see, yeah. I didn't expect to go that far. Like what Grace was saying, you talk about summarization, all these things are happening in Liberia. There are cases the Supreme Court not being able to hear, that Wolf Merrick. I wasn't expecting anything. I wasn't even expecting for the Supreme Court for the Chief Justice to go that far by abusing his power. Yeah. I thought over the weekend somebody was going to put some sense in your head and just let it go and take it to the civil court. Yeah. I was shocked.
Grace, what was you expecting today from the days? What was your expectation?
Atlanta, I will tell you, sister, Liberia is bleeding. Some of us will soon be transitioning because
bleeding. Why?
Liberia is bleeding, my sister. You sit on radio, you sit on platforms. You see mothers don't have sleeping. You see parents literally sleeping in a court because of one ruling that not even relevant. That when the Supreme Court somebody drop a piece of paper and say, who perpetrated for me? They're breaking down people's homes. Supreme Court cannot investigate this. People are devastated. People are living with corruption circling around us. People cannot work in this. People literally go to bear because the lawmakers for months they started putting their own interest first. Forgetting about the Liberian people dying. They were yeah. Regime speaker now, regime speaker. Supreme Court came in, they couldn't even continue what they are very the path. Liberians are better. So most Liberians will not have problem with the verdict today. The only thing they was accused the Supreme Court. Liberians are better. So most Liberians will not have problem with the verdict today. Now,
go ahead.
My issue, they think was very simple. Prophet Kibeko, the people will not value that will stay in the interest to be served as reference tomorrow for other cases to reference them in the future or to come. He was Judy. So they were very to the for you to come say the man 6 months. That man what you
are you saying that he will not change? That the punishment is not good enough?
No, it's not my punishment not good enough. When Prophet I sure he will insult the Supreme Court mother, but I think Liberian getting this wrong. We're bringing this whole moral issue, about into the law. The path the Supreme Court took today is a very dangerous path. Who next? Who next will insult Bese and Bese will send it to jail? Then you turning Democratic nation into anarchy or what? That's what's gonna happen. Imagine George Weah have done what Bese did today. Imagine Joseph Boakai had done what Bese did today. Joseph Boakai had authority. He wasn't going to say contempt. He just sent people say arrest him, and they will arrest Prophet Key for insulting his wife. He would just send people. George Malek would say, "You're going to arrest Prophet Key for insulting my wife." But that's not democracy. And why we in is democracy. And that's the dangerous path
Also, we've been joined by
taking place in
the
Liberia today.
okay. Thank you, Reverend. We've been joined by the CEO of Samdra TV, Mrs. Veronica Grams. She's there in the US. The woman is a nice. I see now she's an advocate. She's at work, but she has her own point and her own view when it comes to the whole Prophet King Saka and how it ended today at the Supreme Court. So, Mrs. Grams, you are welcome. You are live on Samdra TV Inside Liberian Weekend Review. Currently ongoing, we have with us Reverend Cephas Waseke Davis. He's a United
I'm not.
Methodist
Why is
Reverend.
not in my
And
name,
also,
please? ZK
it's
Davis.
like,
No, why is in my name?
yeah, Seke. I think when I talk about Waseke, I can think about Mary Williams.
Now Williams. Now Ray Williams get
Okay,
what? ZK.
yeah.
Mine is ZK.
Yes, okay. And we also have a woman journalist, Grace Williams Joshua. She's a member of the Female Journalists Association of Liberia and an active journalist and practicing journalist. So we are also happy to have our CEO with us. CEO Veronica Grams. The discussion remains. The platform is set, and Prophet Key has been sentenced. He's spending his first night and maybe the Valentine's Day at the Moreover Central Prison, commonly known as Sub Beach. What is your view? We've been hearing from Reverend Davis and Grace Joshua. They said that the Chief Justice is using his power as head of the Supreme Court to intimidate free speech. And Reverend Davis is saying that insults or cursing man in common English is not a criminal offense but civil offense and should have been handled by the civil law court. What is your take on this discussion tonight?
Well, let me say thank you to you, Vivian, for allowing me to share your show with you. And I also appreciate our guests in studio. Well, for the case of Private Key being, going to jail is long been overdue. And if the Supreme Court, the decision today is one of the best decisions they ever took in the history of Liberia, as far as I'm concerned. People are emphasizing on the Marcos, but people are not looking at the deformation of character. People are not looking at the bigger picture. Prophet King went on Facebook, insulted an old elderly lady, a senior citizen, if she's still alive, that got nothing to do with the government. Prophet King went and accused the justices of being corrupt. All they needed from him was evidence. Freedom of speech, Reverend Davis is in America. We have freedom of speech in America. How many times has somebody ever gotten in America to curse the mother of the sitting Chief Justice or the mother of the sitting president or accuse the president without evidence? So people just looking at Marcos or not Marcos. If the traditional aspect after he says more tenure, he's going to meet with the traditional leaders in Nimakati. But I don't know why we're pointing finger at the Chief Justice. It's the justices that took a decision. It's not just Gbese alone took a decision. And we pointing at Marcos. No, it was not just Marcos. Again, people are saying, okay, this person didn't do it. Okay. The way we are approaching this issue is different from the way other people approach an issue. People are legal minded. So we are told every time he was not a politician, maybe he would have handled what the way for border can handle things. So Prophet King going to jail today is one of the best things that rescue government have ever done in recent time.
Now, I respectfully disagree. I think it's the worst decision in the history of Liberia. Infringement on the right of freedom of speech. It's not a criminal offense for somebody to insult somebody's mother. It's not a criminal offense. Even in America here, the country is so big, so you don't see things that we see in Liberia. There are people that insult Donald Trump. There are a lot of mockery video of Donald Trump on Facebook. It's not a criminal offense. Barack Obama was president, They tell like a juju man, and a protest. They got handcuffed on him, and people insult him. It was never a criminal offense. Our legal system is built upon the U.S. U.S. legal system. I think what happened was very, very the abuse of the authority of the Supreme Court, and I think Liberians should be afraid with that kind of behavior of a chief justice that will cause somebody no contempt because the person kind of use bad language against his family. What we defend is the law. Nobody's saying Prophet Key behavior is good. No, Prophet Key behavior is the meaning, not just Prophet Key behavior. Maybe another time we come on this show. The reality is Liberia is morally bankrupt. That's just the reality. Liberia is very, very morally bankrupt since the war. That's just the reality of our nation. It's very, very morally bankrupt. People do a lot of crazy things, You got people cheating. You got market women that would mix flour with milk and sell it to the federal citizen. Liberia is very, very bankrupt. So we shouldn't make the thing about about character. This is about the law. And when your law starts to be this way, that basically is carrying it, there's a danger to Liberia. And that's what we're trying to speak against. Abusing the office of authority. The reason George Weah and Boaka didn't do what Bese did, because they did not want to abuse the authority invested in them by the Liberian people. Bese is not elected. Bese was appointed by Joseph Boaka, and who knows? For the abuse of power, I think the House of Representatives are looking at the impeachment inquiry, because what Bese did is a dangerous path for the law. And that's what we're talking about today on the show. We are not talking about the morality, no. We are talking about abusing our law, because the first step will go to the next, it will go to the next, it will go to the next. I was so shocking when I started talking about your friend, started telling me, say, oh, he had a problem with a different court, where Bese was still in the lower court, because Bese has some a contract tie with that person. He took the case, and he just gave in favor of the woman from your hometown. And I was shocked. A friend told me that. I said, wow. He said, that's not the guy first time. When you're in the lower court, you abuse its authority. And that's a dangerous path for Liberia, to get somebody the head of our court that will bring emotion into the law. And that's what Bese did. He brought emotion into the law.
Very,
Okay.
before our host come in, can I ask you one quick question? Tell me an instance in this great country that you and I live, that somebody, a citizen, just went on the news or on social media. Like you said, this country is a big country. Maybe I'm happy, I'm not seeing it. I want to curse the mother of any government official, that take chief justice or president, and accuse them of corruption, accuse them of malpractice, and people just let it slide.
Oh yeah, that's a common thing. People talk about Donald Trump corruption. Donald Trump corruption is talked about every day in the news. Yeah, it's talked about every day. How the government is corrupt. It's talked about every day in the news. The news talk about Donald Trump.
They don't go further insulting Donald Trump's mother and also insulting his family on the news.
That's why I'm saying the country is so big. People are insulting the president of the president of the United States, and they don't carry no code for that. If the advocacy, people that engage in advocacy, why don't you advocate all the women that Prophet Key are insulted and do a civil lawsuit against Prophet Key? Do a civil lawsuit against Prophet Key that will make him go bankrupt, that the court can even sell his car if he get a house, sell his houses to pay the debt. That's how you deal with a person like that. Yeah, bring the women together, do a civil lawsuit against Prophet Key, millions of dollars, and make sure that the court can even sell all any property he got, sell everything, and pay the money to the people. That's how you punish people like that. But the idea to criminalize, somebody, like insulting people, it's wrong under the Liberian law. It's not a criminal offense. But what the Supreme Court did today, they criminalize it. So the Supreme Court now is a high decision, the higher court in the land. So now, because they have said Prophet Key is going to jail because he caused the Supreme Court matter, So now, every lower court, if somebody cross your mind, you can take them to court and they can send it to jail. Oh, you got it. Yeah, that's what the Supreme Court is trying to tell us. So imagine how many people cross your mind in Morovia there. I'm talking about Buchanan. I'm talking about all the 15 counties. You know what I'm going to talk about? You overburning cases. Is that why we want? Is that where we want for our country to go? So the next time the Supreme Court, somebody had his feeling again, calling into contempt.
In my spot,
Grace.
we are just stepping out.
Is that
Go ahead, Grace. Go ahead, Grace.
talk show? To not be careful, because if you ever say anything that is not maybe suitable to the Supreme Court, they may call you and hold you on contempt and persecute. The freedom of speech is being tampered with here. Prophet Key is a rude man. He should be locked up. Judy Andy case could have been the best scenario to lock that man up forever. There were thousands of mothers out there today that Prophet Key that was celebrating. He been through into jail. We could use them to prosecute Prophet Key through the civil law court. The Supreme Court is too mature for just Prophet Key. Who is Prophet Key, by the way, to bring our Supreme Court to sit with him? He not even, they're giving him too much relevance. He not even belong there.
I know.
He's just nobody that today they give him a lot of relevant people coming out to see him. He's supposed to be true Beyonce like last 2 months ago when Judy Andy talking to the to jail. Everybody's supposed to just put him in jail, that man, ever since. Trust me.
The government gave Prophet Key they made him known, they gave him relevance, which is not, and in reality, this would take the image of Liberia. Don't be surprised that it come up in Liberia Human Rights Abuse Report about the justice system abusing its power and authority. And that what happened. And people just, we just taking it as the whole man costing. Nobody say what Prophet Key been doing is correct. Nobody's saying that. That's why I tell you, one of my friends said Prophet Key abusing my mother. I say, if I would come in like bro, Prophet Key abuse my mother, sorry to say that, but I'll cause the beginning to beat the crap out of him. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, but it's not a criminal offense. And I know people celebrating, but this is very a dangerous path. This might end up on Liberia Human Rights Report for this year. This might cause problem for the executive branch of government. Yeah, if I were
two things I want us.
I'm gonna tell him now to call somebody representative to start impeachment inquiry for basic.
But my problem is
two things I want us to look at.
Basically, they're not single-handed decide the case. So it will start impeachment process. It should be for the whole entire justice, the full bench. Because my problem is basically pointing at Gbese. I mean, like, do you have something personal with this guy?
Gbese put himself in the picture when he spoke during the hearing, say you're in contempt because you insulted my mother. It came from Gbese's mouth. It didn't come from my mouth.
Oh, okay.
In the preliminary hearing, Gbese said you're in contempt because you insulted my mother. You said it right in the Supreme Court. The video is out there. So that's why I'm talking. I don't have problem with Gbese. No. I got problem with what he said and what he did. That's why I got problem with it. And the reason I got problem with it because I love this country so much. I'm in Liberia 2 times a year. I love Liberia so much. And with their path of justice, it's a threat to our democracy. It's a threat to the rule of law. And that's what we're trying to say. Who next? Who will help Gbese feeling again caught into contempt?
Okay. One point I want to raise before you come in, Chris. Yeah. Grace, before you come in, one point I want to raise from Reverend Davis is his Facebook post says, to save the rule of law, it's about time the House of Representatives start an impeachment inquiry into the action of Chief Justice Yami Gbese. His abuse of the law is worrisome, and it is not the first time. Had there been other times where the Chief Justice abused the rule of law? And what do you consider most as an abuse of the law in today's verdict.
Yeah,
Very Davis.
a person,
And after
a person, a,
Chris, Joshua has anything to add up,
yeah,
you are welcome to any of you
yeah.
can add up.
Abuse of law is like, it's like when you use the law, when you the arbiter of the law, you use it in your favor, and what the Supreme Court is doing. You feel hurt, you use the law to punish people. That's what he's doing. When I say this is not the first time, a person, a very close friend of mine, was, had a divorce case with a lady, his ex-wife, friend named Matt. Basically knew her very well. They were in a different court, and basically made sure that case went to him. And without even hearing nothing, he made a general settlement for the lady, and the case was over. It was not in his court, but he asked for it. That's abuse of office. And I must tell you, I just heard it because after this, and I believe there are so many Liberians that had dealt with Wilson from the lower court. After this case, they will start coming up. And that's a serious problem. Our vetting system in Liberia is not well. Yeah, because if you have a vetting system, if our leading a vetting system as a researcher, person of base, it's gonna be difficult for them to be even nominated as a Supreme Court justice.
Really? Chris, you have anything to add up to what we just said?
Yeah. It's Prophet Key is a political commodity. Trust me. Prophet Key is a political commodity.
Meaning? Can you emphasize a little bit more on that?
You have today. United Party held Prophet Key in the past when supporting CDC. I'm not a CDC. That's an honest person that's speaking the truth. Early time, there were people supporting the left of Jefferson Kochi when they used to insult Ellie. You see, this is a trait. This is a trait. Like Reverend said, Liberia is morally corrupt. And the few people that stand up for the fact, you now being targeted. Now, they see Prophet Key. Prophet Key said something to Darius Dillon, Senator Dillon. He said that today you know a waste. That today you know I can insult. The videos are there. Go to the page. Your election, when I was spending my money insulting the president to bring you to power, you never knew I was a waste. Now, this is it. You cannot use a person when you want to use them, and you dump them when you feel they're not necessary. That's narrow with Prophet Key. Prophet Key were used, and now he's pointing finger at the same people that use him because they did not settle him with what he wanted. So now, since they not settle him, now he's trying to get back the same means he used to before, which is the same thing Yeke Koluba were doing before. Now, since they trying to get attention by purpose, the issue of you giving him more relevant in politics, you keep your friend closer and keep your enemy even more closer. See, Prophet Key will come here as an enemy now. You want to draw him more closer because there is no way Prophet Key will keep quiet. You just open a Pandora box. The Pandora box are where they made our own MVTI. Abulai. They see Pandora box. United Party. Where Amin Model. They see Pandora box. United Party has opened with women pay. They see Pandora box. They open with Eke Kwaluba. It's the same Pandora box being open with their Prophet Key issue that we're dragging small like this. Now,
I think, Grace, you are making a very relevant point that we could call you back on Samtra TV, Eastern Liberia, to discuss. Because all of these things are aligning. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off. People watching you and want you to learn. Go ahead.
United Party know they want to the only person I see that talk from a clear standpoint. I don't know here. I commented on Prophet Key issue. But he spoke my mind when those people who were demolished, a different breach of people. They seem as CDC. Prophet Key have supporters. Don't forget, Prophet Key have people that believe in him. They could have lose.
Yeah, sure.
A Prophet Key have so
Yeah,
now,
Chris is a little bit.
Nima may worry against him. Because of some simple misunderstanding that will be here no track. Andy time, Judy Andy, let it go back to that case. Open that case. Chopping Kojapo or ever on Judy and Jela man. Simple.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. We like to hear the final word of Reverend Davis, who will be taking a leave shortly because of other engagement. Reverend Cephas Davis, go ahead. You can make your final statement, and be prepared that we can call you back at any time on Samdra TV for other views, political analysis, church issues, UMC, GMC crisis, all other issues. Don't forget that you are you are at our disposal. So go ahead, Reverend, and make your final statement.
Yeah.
What
I
final
will,
word on this issue?
yeah, I'll be, first I want to say, thank you for, coming, inviting me on your show, and, I'll be willing to come anytime when, as long as issue relating to Liberia, I will be there to speak. I think my final point here is, I want for, people to wake up in Liberia when it comes to the rule of law. And, we got to understand that, the issue of, morality, as I said, I just believe that, our nation as a whole is morally bankrupt. So, the behavior of Prophet Key and other people across Liberia is happening. But one thing we got to know and understand that those things are not criminal offense under the Liberian law, that the law is different, that we cannot have chief justices that will tie their emotion to the law, and that will willingly abuse the authority of the court. And I think that's what the chief justice did by calling Prophet Key into contempt. And I will say this again, you got contempt, you got criminal contempt and civil contempt. To explain them literally, it got to happen within the code or outside the code in violation of court order. That's when those things can happen. And Prophet Key did none of those. And I will say it again, Prophet Key behaviors demanding, as soon as I want up, is very terrible. But the law was applied wrongly today. And Liberians have to wake up. And I think one of the saddest things for it was Tawan Gonglo commentary I saw, a constitutional scholar that I respect a lot, and I think his commentary was misreading of the law. Yeah, this should have been a civil matter. This should not be a Supreme Court issue. And again, we will say it. This was an abuse of the law. And I will say this again. If I were advising President Joseph Boakai, I would start talking to some representative to start an impeachment inquiry into Chief Justice Gbese. Who next? We all don't like Prophet Key behavior. But applying the law wrongly to punish, is it the right thing? Is it justice? No, that's not justice. And the other people say it's fairness, but that's not justice. So we hope that we also look at this clearly, not just on this whole abuse. It's about the law. When our laws, our law is not already strong, and we have people who's ahead of the code, abusing our law. That's a very, very dangerous path. And again, I want to say thank you for inviting me. And, I look forward to coming back again to, have another conversation.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Reverend Davis, for your point tonight. When I saw your Facebook post, I was like, wow. is he backing Prophet Key or is he for the rule of law? But I notice now that after every explanation that you have done, along with Grace Joshua, who is a female journalist and an advocate for women, I realized that there are so many other things that we need to look at, and I hope that we can rejoin anytime to look at other issues that will uh, uh, keep women safe in our spaces, and that we will be safe as women from every sector, even old age women, even men, mothers are women. A man was born by a woman. So
Yeah.
if we can have a private space for them without people infringing on their basic rights and insulting them and their will and pleasure in the name of it's somebody else's right, and we can have those kind of spaces for them free and fair, we'll be glad to have you. Thank you so much. You
Yeah. Thank you.
you can leave us at any moment as we take our course, or we review our messages online to continue with our program. So,
Oh,
Reverend,
I don't
thank you
know.
for your time.
If you had told me that I knew you having a call, maybe somebody get a question for me. I don't know.
Oh. So our numbers are always on the screen. If you have a question or you want to make a
Oh,
statement, please. Our numbers are on the screen. Be ready, we can give you 2 minutes just in case you have a statement to make or a question to ask him. He
yeah.
is right here. 2 minutes will be fine. Grace is off, and she lost control of internet. Is off. Liberia, our internet is just back to back. Some noisy, some sticky, some not. It's
Yeah.
sufficient enough,
And
but
this
we are here
Starlink now
to
is the best
bring
in
you the
Liberia for
best.
people to have.
Yeah. So we right here. Just make your comment. There's no call. Okay. There's no call. And do we have comments? Studio, do we have comments? If not, then we can say goodbye to us as we come to a close on tonight's weekend review, special weekend program on the ongoing saga of Prophet Keys court case with the Supreme Court of Liberia. We've been following, and we've been here. We've been doing the best we can, and bringing you back to back. Father, today he's spending his first night in Sabish. If you
Yeah.
are on
Yeah.
YouTube, search for Samdra TV. If you're on Facebook, search for Samdra TV. Follow us, and we promise you to bring you the best. We are independent. We only bring you what is relevant. More to come. Uh, our regular shows are going to be maintained, and sometimes we're going to bring you breaking news, stories, relevant issues, things to talk about, most especially Liberia, which is our interest. God bless you. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for making your comment. Thank you for viewing. And thank you for reading. This is Liberia, and it is just for all of us. We are all Liberians. We want to save our country, our world. God bless you. Vivian Cook is my name. I am your host in Liberia, the co-host of Santa TV Worldwide.
Sweet land of liberty, we prophesy to you.